4:30 in the morning. The hair's a bit of a mess and everything else. Yes, because I have just got up out of my bed. Because, well, actually, let me put a light on. Because I'm doing anybody who's been watching me knows that one of the things I actually really enjoy doing is actually making Fortnite maps. So let me just make sure that's easy. Good. So let me just go to chat, embed chat, so that way I can see if anybody says anything on Twitch, etc. on there. So what am I making here? So one of the things, my next project I'm going to be doing, apart from obviously sorting out the maps that I've got, is still making other projects. So yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing. Anyway, so this is going to be, I'm making a prison scene for an escape room. So I'm not going to put any of the mechanics in on stream because obviously that would be a bit silly. People would then know. So I'm just adding the items I've got. Now where I'm getting this all from, by the way, is I'm getting this all from, I have Unreal UEFN. So I have Unreal Engine installed on my computer. I said the next project I was going to do was going to be on my Unreal Engine, but then I kind of went against myself and I started creating in Fortnite again. And then when I was copying and pasting stuff onto the map, it was like, as soon as I put it in, I wanted to move it, it wouldn't let me. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have to start again. So in the end, I just basically went, nah, forget it. I'm just going to do it in here. So the good thing about this UEFN, so Unreal Engine for Fortnite basically, is that I can not only use the assets that Fortnite give me, but I can also introduce other assets that you wouldn't normally find in Fortnite, as long as they're within the parameters of the memory capacity I've got, and then nothing too gruesome, etc. So the good thing is I can search for, say, let's say for instance, I'm looking for a bunk bed. Hang on, bunk bed there. So I can search that through my library. It says it's fine. There's matching assets at the moment, but so so I can. All right. So let's see. It's let me just try and find. Oh, it's not letting me match anything up at the moment for some reason. Let me just quickly go around. So, oh, I see. It says my assets. Oh, I see. Right. So let me get on the right page here. So these are my assets. I'm on the wrong page. So this is Fab. Fab is basically a marketplace where people can sell all the assets that they've designed. Whether they've designed buildings, so you can buy anything and everything. You find a lot of like computer companies will actually buy assets pre-made, unless we've got the right, because it just saves so much time. I mean, at the end of the day, why pay someone hours and hours and hours? If you want to make your own game, you've got tons of assets in here. You can get like cave scenes and underwater worlds, as you can see here. And look, if you bought this underwater world, you pay like, say, from £54 for that, and you imagine that obviously into a game price that games pay for. So the good thing is, what you can do is you can actually go on here and you can say only show me the free stuff, and that's it. So what I can then do, as you can see, a lot of this is saved in my library, and it's good to check this like every day, and then basically I can just draw upon whatever's in there and add it to my library, and it doesn't cost anything as long as you stick within a certain perimeter and you're not making millions and millions of pounds. So that's the good thing about this. I can, because with myself, I find I have the ability to make the games. I have the ability to the ideas of the games, but my talent of modeling these things, which take long time, it doesn't work. So it would take me too long. So what I'm doing here is I'm making, for the first part of this game room, is going to be a prison cell. So I'm just working through different assets at the moment, thinking what would be in a prison cell and what can I add to this. So as we've got here, we've got a sofa, we've got a bunk bed, a toilet, got a sink. I've just put a mirror up there. I'm not sure about that mirror. I might change that mirror. It looks too gold-like. I mean, it looks like a fancy mirror that does, but I mean, even though it's broken. And to be fair, in prison, you're not going to have a glass mirror, so they wouldn't have. Maybe if I can sink this in a little bit, just to make it look like it's in the wall. So I might have to actually change that mirror anyway. So here we go. So we've got this. I've just put the shower in, and as you can see, like the good thing is you've got this. So that's a very basic shower. There, so I'm just checking. Well, the good thing is I can drag and drop any item I want, so I can put this one in instead, and then just basically flip this around with using this and turn it around, and now I've got a different shower. And then what I can then do is take this character here over here under there. So is that where that, you know, you've got to be like, use the character for reference so you can see, so it looks realistic. So as you can see, I can go over there and I can say, well, hang on, what looks realistic here? Would they have in prison? Would they have this? I mean, that looks old and rustic, which is what I thought about it. But then, how do they turn it on? I don't know. It's you know, so how would they turn that shower on? And also, what are they going to stand in? Because water's just on the floor, so I'm going to have to find something to go on the base of a shower. Alternatively, I've got this. Where are we? I can put something like this in, which is actually a shower cubicle. But then I'm thinking, would they have a shower? That's a bit too fancy for a prison cell, I think. It doesn't look realistic. It's too fancy as such. They got these. This one. Let's have a look at this one. Let's turn that one around. Yes, yeah, I still think that still looks too fancy. So we're gonna stick with one of these type of showers. I'm just gonna have to put like a basin and like some sort of curtain in there to hide that. So yeah, so I've got to do something with out here because I'd like to make that into a landing. So do I go with this one? And I'm just thinking, I mean, if I take that up a bit, so that off there, I can imagine that would be kind of a shower in a prison, I think. Or then you've got this one here, which I think I'm going to go with the rustic one. I want it to be, it kind of sits in with the theme of this, because if you look at the floor's a mess. You know, you've got this old metal toilet here. So, I mean, this is a generous size cell, really, to be fair, I think. This is quite a big cell. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would want maybe a cell this big. How big is the floor tile? So I can't make it any small. I mean, unless I resize the tile. But I don't want to start doing that. I want to give people room to move around. So I've got to spread these assets out. If you think about it, look, someone's going to get up on that bunk bed through here, and then someone gets in there. So where would the toilet be? The toilet would be near the shower, I think. If we take the shower that way, we can move him out of the way now. So I'm going to move him out of the way. What would be next to the shower, where you'd have the toilet, the sink. You're going to have a sink. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't like that mirror. And we're going to have the sink there, because you'd have the toilet and the kind of sink there. I mean, maybe we can use, so these are all the assets I've got found for prison. So what I can maybe do is take something like this, and maybe we can resize that, make it smaller, and then bring that in there. So it gives them a little bit of privacy. So maybe they've got half. We've got a half wall. A half wall would work. If I had a half wall, no, I haven't. So I'm gonna have to get that and just kind of shrink that down. And it works well. There's got some tiles on it as well, I think. So I'm gonna shrink the size of this down to the waist height of this prisoner here. This guy here. I'm still kind of like getting used to because it's been a while since I've used Unreal Engine, so it's so we get our man here. I'm going to stand him over here. Select this again. Make this. I'm going to shrink this down to there because it would be okay. So now it's. I'm going to have to resize this once it's in creative because it's got grid snapping on. So I need to figure out how to take grid snapping off. Maybe this is it. Toggle with the object resize by preset ratio when you select the scale. Toggle with the object snap to preset angles. Let's try to. Yeah, so that's way too. 32 is quite good because it is it. Let's have a look. No, 32 is still not. Maybe if I do this. No, why is it not letting me? Oh, maybe. Right. Let me remove it now. No. Okay. Ah. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, like I said, I did say it's been a while since I've used Unreal Engine, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to using it again. So if you can imagine, I'm going to bring in my character here. As a representation of this. So this is the man, he's having a shower in here. He's got some privacy. He would maybe have a shower here, and then we're gonna resize this slightly bigger. I think I'm gonna make it slight. No, it's gone back to this whole. So maybe is it this one? Oh, that is just way too big. So let's try 1.25. Ah, brilliant. So now we can see he's just showing his head. So how would this be? This prisoner here is going to have a shower. Where would that be? So let's grab him now and move him out of the way. I think if we get that and put that there, and then if I go like this and then put another one here, then you can imagine he's having a shower in there. That gives him a tiny bit of privacy, but not enough that basically they would, you know, you couldn't see what was going on. So I'm just going to go outside the center second so I can turn around and see. Yeah, so he's kind of hidden, but not. And look, that's hidden that bit of bar really, really well. I need to make sure that's flush with that bit of wall. Oh, not you, that, this. So there we go, so that's flush with that. So that's the first one, and then obviously the sink doesn't need to be there, but the toilet itself, look at the size of the, let's have a look at the toilet next. So we're going to bring that back over here. Let's bring our man round here again. I mean, look at the size of the toilet to the man. That toilet is huge. So we're going to have to make that smaller. Does that look realistic size? I think a little bit smaller. I mean, that's a realistic size compared to him, if you look at him. Yeah, because it's like knee height, wouldn't it? Be knee height, yeah. So that's fine. And obviously his cellmate, who's going to be in it as well, is not going to want to see him in the toilet. So he would have a little bit of privacy there. There. And then we'll have a sink just on the outside here. There we go. There's a sink. So we're going to need to put a unit or something here. The only reason I'm making this big is because obviously people moving around. Let's centerize. That's a new word. Centerize our shower so it's like there. So we're going to need to find some sort of like tray, or I'm going to see if I can find a tray. A tray of some sort? No, tray. Let's see. No, nothing. Oh, tray. For some reason, it's coming up with. I pressed S by accident. That didn't work. How about what can I use as a sink, maybe? So we have lots of sinks. What about a shower basin? Shower basin. Tray. What can I use? Metal, square. Ooh, I'm gonna have to figure something out to go in there, because obviously he can't just have a shower. Or maybe, oh, drain. Drain would work. I love the fact you can actually search for. There we go. Brilliant. So we've got drains. So we've got an Atlantis drain. That's a bit big. And then I think that looks too new though. I think that looks too fancy. Let's use one of these ones here. This drain here, I'm going to resize it slightly, make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to move it in here. It's going to be right underneath the I feel like it would be, yeah, like that way though, and then I'm going to sink it into the ground. There we go. Would it? No, actually, would it would be the other way around, wouldn't it? Actually, if I do this, why don't I do this? Why don't I do this? Lift this up. Let's resize it so it's thinner, like so. That's better. And now I can actually put it down on top of the floor. There, and now it looks like, it actually looks like a drain. Okay, so we're gonna have, what else are we gonna have? Let's have a tap, because you gotta turn the shower on. Tap. What about lever? Lever. No, that's a shotgun. I don't want a shotgun. What about handle? No, that's a person. Let's have a look in prefabs and let's have a look for free assets. Let's for handle. Right. So okay, this is where fab comes in handy because then now I can search what I'm looking for. I don't want a fuse box. I only want free stuff. So let's just put that. So only show me the free stuff. Thank you. And now we're gonna add this free stuff to my, as I'm going. That's a baseball bat. We don't want a baseball bat. Might actually have to I'm just adding some free assets to my thing. So we're looking for something that would pass as a handle. That's cool though. I can use that in a bit once it comes to adding more detail to the cell. But right now we're just looking for something that's going to pass as a handle for us. That might work if I can turn it. Let me try this. Let me try this. This thing here. Now this is this bit. Let's cancel it. It's trying to add it and it's obviously doesn't like adding it, but let's try adding it in here instead. I want to try and don't worry about that. Let's try just looking in our content folder and we'll look for something else. Coffee. What props do we have? The good thing is I've got access to all the stuff that's normally in Fortnite anyway, so I can just look through this and then see if there's anything that I can use. Unfortunately, it does take. This is the part that takes time because now I'm going to start looking for specific assets or like things that I can put in. So that's Art Deco. I don't think there would be any Art Deco-y stuff. Battlewood, maybe. Okay. So what we got in here? Battlewood. Right. So there might actually be some stuff in here that I was actually using earlier. This might be handy. Let's hand that, and that would be handy for a mirror because that looks like it's a non-breakable mirror. We want a desk, so let's let's have a look for table. Look at all of our devices. Tilted tower, got everything. So Fortnite table. Let's have a look. So we want like an old crappy looking table. Something that's going to be in a prison cell. I wonder what stuff we've got in there in the way for prison. What we got? Bathroom mirror. That's not a good prison bathroom mirror, I don't think. We got that for prison gallery. I've already got in there, I believe. Yeah, that's what I've already got in there. Now looking for like things to go in the room. What about desk? Have a look at the desk. I mean, you'd have something to sit at, wouldn't they? So I can have a look at that. And that looks like 2 decent a desk. They wouldn't have a proper desk. They'd have they wouldn't even have drawers. You'd want a desk with no doors. So that when the prisoners come in, they're gonna want to look at it, and they're not gonna want to like search through. I mean, if they're gonna want to clearly see. Okay, let's try just table then. It's a shame you can't put some of this stuff in and then kind of like separate it, because some of them have got like already got chairs and stuff with it. So it's like, I mean, that might work. A farm table. There, that farm table may work. We've also got, oh, actually, this looks like you see in the films. But then you've also got this as well. I can just bring into the screen whatever I find and then just mess around with them, and then this is an interesting concept, because I was doing something earlier but that's already got a load of stuff on it, which is handy. So it depends what's actually on it. Giving the guy a laptop. That's a coffee table. They wouldn't have a coffee table. I mean, something like that maybe. I'm just going to put multiple desks out, and then we'll decide based on what I get. I mean, the good thing is it's giving me lots of different bucket market table. Yeah, I don't think you would have that in a prison cell somehow. That looks like it's got a load of tools on it. This is my prison cell table. Look, I'm preparing to escape. Oh, these are like, that's a coffee table. I can make them bigger though. Okay, we're getting to the end of tables now. We're going to also want, how about a chair? Chair. So we're going to want like a crappy, horrible old chair. You wouldn't have a decent chair, would you? You would have something like maybe this type of chair. Or maybe that type of chair. Let's have a look, see what chairs they've got. It would be a primitive type of chair though, wouldn't it? And it depends on the table you're using as well. I think we can definitely say no to that. That can maybe that might need to use that for the roof. I'm looking for like a beaten up chair. No, I don't want a cozy suit. I feel like they would pick that up and start beating the prison officers up. That metal one, it reminds me too much of WWF. Okay, so we got this rustic chair. A director's chair. No, definitely none of them. Maybe an outdoor wooden chair. A rocking chair. Princess chair. Yeah, give him a princess chair. I'll give him a compliment. I did have one earlier that was ideal for it. It looks a bit messed up. A bit like one of these type of chairs where you can't see what I'm pointing at there. It'd be good if I can find it again. Ooh, these could be interesting. Look at this. This one here. Look at that chair. That looks like an oldie type chair. That looks like it's been seen better. We want something like that. Okay, let's try having a look at this then. So we're going to bring in this mirror, just because of the fact that it's, make it smaller, spin it around, let's dig in. But obviously they wouldn't have a full length mirror, would they? They'd have a mirror that's, so that gives me a chance to resize the mirror. Let's bring our man over so we can have a look and make sure that he would be able to look in that mirror. Yes, he would be able to look in that mirror. That's good. Right, so now we've got to choose the table. We've got this one here. I want to have a quick look at this one here. I want to know what's on that table. Is that like I mean, like, I don't think you would have that knife on there somehow. So yeah, we forget that table. I feel that's like too much of an office type chair table. That is more of a garden table. I feel like that's more of the prison table. But then you could pick that up. You could see them picking up. So I think we go for this one. It's simple and it's actually a coffee table. So it's a rustic table. Maybe if I pick it up out the floor, that would be good. Spin it round. Let's take it in. So we're going to make this longer because technically there's two guys in the cell. You got bunk beds there, so you would have a longer table. There, let's just make sure that's not going through there. There we go. So now we've got a table in here. We're going to need to decide on a chair. I don't think we would have that. Even though I think maybe, I wonder if that would be better. That looks a bit too expensive though. Right. So, looking at that there, it's a shame because everything else is metal. That is true, you know, everything is metal in there, so it would be a metal table. So, metal table. What we got? A load of fancy tables. How about just table? I think we're gonna have to have the no, actually saying that, no, not necessarily. I mean, I know everything else is, but because everything would be bolted down, wouldn't it? Everything's secured against the walls. That doesn't look like it's secured against anything. Kitchen. Let's try kitchen unit. Right, so that's the aircon unit. Kitchen unit. Anything that comes on kitchen. No, they would not have a cooker in their cell. Oh, hang on. This table. This looks like a prison table, not that one, that one. So we could maybe use that instead. Yeah, I think that's the that's the one. That's the one. Look at it. It looks like it could be classed as a, I would say, prison table. How would they sit? They'd have one on either side. So let's have a look. So maybe turn that around that way. There. Then we're gonna go. We need two chairs. But definitely not going to be that one, or that one. So is it going to be that one or that one? I don't know. Hang on. I think it would mostly be this one. I think we're going to have a chair. It's going to be this one. So if we had a chair, it would be maybe here. And then we can put another one in over here. Okay, so there's a chair. But let's face fact. Who puts their chair 100% in, like, so we'd have one like that. I mean, they are prisoners. They're not gonna, if you know what I mean, they're not gonna, it needs to be slightly off because that's how human beings are. We tend to not be so exact and precise. So now we're getting somewhere. So I just got to make sure, based on the scale of things, let's bring him over. If he sat down in that chair, would it be too small? Would it be too big? Would that table be too big or too small? At the moment, it would, I think. Actually, no, that's about right. I've just realised I've been doing it as if he's on the stand. He needs to be, everything needs to be so it's like this. So if he goes up to that, would he see himself in the mirror? Yes. We can maybe drop that down a tiny bit, I think. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, what else would be in this cell? They'd have some shelving because, of course, where else are they going to put stuff? Why is that mirror so big? Oh, that's what it was originally. Okay, so we want shelving. Oh, there we go. Right, so we want like, we've got a choice of shelves. Got that one. And we got this one. I don't think it would be that one. Looking at the theme of things. Right, here you go. You got some like different coloured shelves. Big, huge industrial shelf. I think a lot of them are just the same. We got this one here. This is like some very old looking shelves. What else we got? Not a massive amount of shelving. Some with stuff on. What is hanging shelf here, which we'll have a look in a minute. So looking at this, get rid of that one straight away. That's just too big. Looking at this cell where everything's kind of old, I think that looks too new. So does that. What's on this shelf? Some pots. That's a wooden shelf. So that means that's mostly wooden shelf. So it looks like you're the winner. In you go. And that's their shelving there for their stuff on. Table and chairs there. So now I need to fill it up with bits and pieces. So I'm now going to go through manual devices, environmental, landscape, foliage, traverse water, fonts, galleries. Let's just go up here. We're going to grab a load of stuff to decorate ourselves. So we're going to be taking things out here. From here, so we come out of here a sec. Just going to drop them down in this. Oh yeah, I wanted to have a look at this. Yeah, that's like, yeah, no. I don't think we're going to want any Art Deco stuff. No. But you don't know. Check. Bank gallery. Floor. 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 Oh, that's floor. Foundation. We won't want anything like that. Roof gallery, wall gallery, blue house gallery. No. Roof gallery, no. Rotunda gallery, no. Wall galleries, no. Brick house gallery, no. So we're going to start bringing in lots of little bits and pieces to make some of the stuff up. No. No, 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 no. Cabins gallery. Alright, so we're starting to get stuff. Roof, wall, castle gallery. Right, no. Category B, no. Category C, no. D, this is it. You give me at least some stuff to look at. No. More roof gallery, but roof, floor, stairs, floor. Loaded gallery. Nope. That might go on the bottom where the shower goes. You've got to look for these things, you see. Secret facility. No. No, even though we are going to need some sort of lighting. No. Not from there. Not from there. Not from there. Of course, there's the Colosseum cell wall. I will get to some stuff in a minute. No, it's castle stuff, that's not it. Roof sticks and restaurant gallery. Alright, so we've got some stuff. No, we haven't. Floors, roof gallery. Nope. Road gallery. No. Wall gallery. Maybe. Might be something that goes on a wall. No, I think it's just like lots of different walls. Stairs. No. Nothing there. Dark tilted wall. Hero mansion gallery. Alright, so is that got any stuff in it? No, it's still just building. Am I like stuck in a building type thing? Yes, that explains a lot. Right, we don't want building stuff. Oh, no wonder I can't find anything. I'm looking at building stuff. Right, so let's have a look. Get rid of the building stuff. Customizable. What we got? Nope. Nope. No. No, there wouldn't be a flammable torch. Not the glass. Would it be glass? I mean, we've got the window. We've got window. I've got window, haven't I? So I think we would have a piece of glass. Yeah, maybe like maybe there's a broken window. Then we can have a broken window. So we'll drop in maybe a couple of bits of glass. But it wouldn't actually say that it wouldn't be real glass, though, would it? It would be plastic. So that way they can't break it and try and stab someone. So just a glass window, glass wall. We got a glass window, or just originally use this glass. Oh, there's glass stairs. If I use this, and then what I can do is resize it, and then put like a decal over it or something to make it look like scratched and everything. Posters and pictures, not. That's a hollow screen. Why would they have hollow screen? The alphabet. They're not going to have numbers and letters on the walls. And they're not going to have computer screens. Furniture. We're getting somewhere now. Yeah, I'll get things somewhere. Even though not any of that. But here we go. Right. So let's have a look. Mechanical parts. I don't think we would have mechanical parts in it. Might have that. That actually that looks like a retinal scanner. No, that we'll have that. We mostly need a bin of some sort. Jungle props don't need any. We don't have a campfire. A military style bed, no. Military base vent might have a vent in the wall, so we'll grab that. There is an art painting, but I don't think it would have necessarily that. Residential gallery. Mailbox. And that's just some walls. Right, so game, what's this? Block party game. Lights. There's a safe wall. Yeah, I'm sure prisoners often have safe walls in their room. Military numbers, no. And some more arty stuff. No. Let's keep going. Light gallery, no. Pandora light gallery. Do they have like it wouldn't be that one. Particles. Musical blocks. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I might be able to use that. I'm not going to use it right now. Piano nature. Bamboo. Battlewood Boulevard. No. Nature. There's going to be lots of nature. Ooh, you know what? There might be though some like mold and stuff kind of growing in the cell. I mean, it's like it's a cell. It's not the Ritz. Nature. I don't think we're going to need any nature stuff. Let's go to ABBA. Foundation across the corridor gallery. No. Factory, maybe. This could be a vent. I mean, green, orange, obstacle, force, obstacle. Rocket racing, desert, rocks. No. Gave. Ooh, what's this? Hang on. What is that? No. No. Maybe. Oh, some cobwebs. Ah. Now that's an interesting one. Cobwebs. Would you have cobwebs? You'd mostly have cobwebs in a cell. Like so. So that's some sort of effect we can have. We can maybe have some different cobwebs in here. So we're going to just chuck these over here. I'm putting all this here so I can build it in a minute. Put everything in. I'm pretty sure you figured that out. Right? We don't need any particle effects. Right, so lights. We are going to need some sort of lights, but I don't think we'd have that light. We'd maybe have some. No. I'm looking for a specific light. That's not it. No. No, we don't want like an Art Deco, which is cool though if I do the fashion show one I was going to do. I don't think we want the Aurora Polaris in. Now here's an interesting one. We've got a background here. So once they're looking out the cell, I'll just drop that on there. That could be opposite them. I think that's something later on though. It's good for you. We've got different types of background buildings, equalizer, skyscraper, prop, balloon props. Ah, we've got some more stuff here. I recognise some of this. There's another aircon unit. Alright, Cully, how you doing? What else we got? We got some supplies. Hang on. Let's add them with all our other bits and pieces. Remember, this is where I'm just gathering everything at the moment, so I can. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just I was in bed, watching Reacher, and then I went to sleep. Went to go to sleep. I fell asleep for I think about an hour, and then I woke up and I've got this game idea in my head. I'm making like an escape room. I've got 20 levels in my head so far, written down. Well, in my head written down, and in the process of starting to make the first one. So, and it's going to be a prison. The first one's going to be a prison room. So what I'm doing is I'm making this in Unreal Engine, instead, because it gives me access to more stuff. So this is the prison room so far. So there's the guy. So I'm just building the set at the moment, and then what's going to happen is eventually I'll put the mechanics in, so you have to escape from this room. So I'll put it all together, and then I'll make it into one group, so I can then pick it up and move it wherever I want, which is good. So at the moment I'm just searching for assets. I'm doing the exciting part, looking for assets that may go in this room, so that way when I can start putting the oil in and adding more stuff to it. Have a look at that kitchen set. I'm not sure if you'd have that in there though, to be fair. But I've also got to search for stuff to go on the shelves and stuff like that. So at the moment what I've done is I've put the basic stuff in, and now I'm starting to look for stuff that would make it be realistic, like adding the little. This is going to take me ages to build all this, because it's going to be like I've got to add bits and pieces to it to make it look like it would be a prison cell. So there would be stuff on the shelves. There would be, you'd maybe have a phone, because obviously they'd get payphone they can use. There would be like an emergency lighting like this. So there's a lighting, which would come on. They'd have a hacksaw. You know, things, everyday things that people have in prison. Hacksaw, clubs, knives, shanks. You know, all that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Crowbar. So I'm just going through all the assets, Gary. It's not the most container fruit basketball. We'll put that there. It may be something I might use. I don't know. At the moment, I'm just searching stuff that may go in there. I found you a good desktop background. Did you? What was the desktop background you found me? I should really have my granddaughter, and then all my kids and stuff on my desktop background. How about a sword? Do you reckon a prisoner would have a sword? You know, like wake up in the morning, because they might need to scratch their back. You know what I mean? So they'd need like a sword. Here we go. So we got a poster, because they'd need posters. We have some posters in there. So that's of a guy flexing. We have a TV. They would have a TV. They'd mostly have a TV. They'd have a piano. Of course, they'd need another bench to sit on for once they're not. They'd have a drum set. No, it's going to be something silly in it. Go on. I tell you what, though, Callie. Yeah, my lad. Callie's changed the background. Ooh, actually, that's really cool, Callie. I like that. Yeah, I like that, Callie. I'm gonna save that. I'm stealing that image now, Callie. Stealing it. That's really cool. Where'd you steal it from? Where'd you steal it from? That's actually a really good image, Kelly. I'm going to use that. Pretend I made it. Pretend I made it. No one's around. No one. You've got no proof, Kelly. Oh yeah, I'm streaming, and you got no proof. You can't prove it. It's quite funny, really, because I get people trying to send me stuff all the time. Let me send you this stuff. The people send me stuff like, can you, can I send you some examples of some work? And that's actually the best piece of work, best piece I've seen so far. To be fair, Kelly. Not that book. I don't want that book. There is. Oh, Kelly, you've got my lad. Like I say, my lad's been doing. He's got a YouTube channel. My young lad. Both of them have, to be fair. But the youngest takes like he spent 3 months making this video. He plays darkest dungeons and stuff like that. 3 months made this video. It's an hour and 20 minutes long on how he completed darkest dungeon, etc. Without any deaths and stuff like that. He's like he does the hardest challenges, and he's gone from having 30 subscribers to 190 subscribers from that one video. He's like crazy. You sent me something else. Ooh, yes, I'm gonna. Where did you get these from? Did you make them yourself, or did you? Is this AI? I'm definitely gonna. I'll definitely use that. Definitely, yeah, that PFP. Oh, well, have you seen my PFP? My PFP is just my face now. It's just me. But I'm wondering if maybe that was the best idea. Ah, right, okay. So we've got this lighting here, and we've got this lighting here. These are some lights I found earlier. So we're going to take them, so we'll use them. See, this is all the painstaking part. If you made games yourself, Callie, you'll know. This is the painstaking part. This is the. Oh, we have a trash pile. That's a little trash pile. The painstaking part of having to now find all the little assets to put into the scene. And it's actually what I actually really enjoy this stuff. This is what I enjoy doing. Yes, you must find the button. If you look at my stream earlier, I actually show you it. It's actually in the stream. I said because I was I can't remember who it was, but I was doing something. I think it was Harry who used to come in before, and I said and I actually did it while I was on stream, and he didn't even notice where I went. I just went and got it. So if you see my stream earlier, you'll see that it's in there. I think only one person's seen it, so found it so far, and that's Will. Or was it Darth? Managed to get in there because I was in there at the time, so they jumped in there at the same time as me. Just chucking all this stuff down here. Would they have a clock wall? I mean, a clock on their wall. Maybe? No, I don't think they would. I don't think they would. Would they have a bullseye thing in there? Just make sure you go once you're looking for it, Kelly. Make sure you look for it in the assault course part. Don't go looking for it in the Is that why you did these? Is to get it out of me so you can find out where it is? I know. I'll make these and then give them to Charlie and they'll tell me exactly where the button is, so I don't have to look for it. Right, so we got another grate there. Car gallery. I don't think they'd have a car in their cell. But every single one of these rooms I have to go through every single time over and over again, looking through the props. Luckily, I'll basically over. I think this was the vent I had earlier. And it moves as well, which is cool. Over and over again. Looking for what's going to go in there. We've got trash piles already. I've already got that. No. Craziness, I tell you, Kelly. I've had like an hour's sleep. How you getting on? Cool. That's the spirit. You like it's better. I think it's better that way anyway, because it's more. You feel more. You've accomplished more once you look through, find it yourself. Oh, a tin can. Yeah, we'll have maybe a tin can. There's another can. There. A box. There, and we have a stack of boxes there. How are you getting on with make? Are you actually making maps? I know you said you were going to have a go. You were going to try to edit. Have you actually made some? Are you making maps at the moment? Craigie clips. Also got to try and remember to keep an eye out for. I mean, maybe that. Even though it's a coastal hole, maybe I could pass that off as a. Yeah. Alright, well, I won't tell you anymore. Would a prison cell have a big stack of gold? A pallet of gold in the corner. Just like random pallet of gold. Some power tools. Can you imagine it? Yes, so this is your prison cell for the next couple of years, and yeah, they're your power tools. So if you ever get bored, yeah, you can have a go at drilling the walls and stuff. Cyber City stuff. I've got all the stuff for Cyber City in here as well, you know, which is good as well. I've got all the stuff for Cyberpunk. I think Cyberpunk as well in Unreal Engine, so I can access it and use it in some of this. Would a prison cell have samurai swords? Maybe. Maybe some samurai swords just lying around. I'm gonna start putting some of this stuff in the cell in a second. Maybe one of these we could do for a handle. Some eggs. I don't think there's going to be any Fall Guy stuff in there. So that's too bright and colourful. Farm parts going. Maybe they have a tractor in there. It's crazy to think that lots of this stuff is going to be going into this here. All this stuff here, you would think, how are you going to get it all in there? But you'll be surprised. Oh, little lamp. Do I have a lamp for your desk? Actually, maybe they won't have it. Maybe they've got the FNCS trophy in their cell. done. Anything else? Giant robot. A giant robot in their cell. Actually, yeah, if I add things like this rubble pile, I mean, not specifically that big, but Ice House Gallery. Toilet roll. Also, gonna need a loo roll. What else have got on here? Maybe an apple. The amount of assets I've got to look through here for this. Believe they're not gonna want Japanese drop. No. They need like bedding and towels and I did see them earlier. Let's at least start doing something with this lot. Right, okay. So let's start here. So first things first, they're gonna want to vent on the outside of the wall. So there we have a vent here, and I like this one because it's moving. So it adds that little bit of life to the cell that come into this. Now obviously I'm going to need to make it smaller. And I think it would be, let's make it that way. Let's make it smaller, obviously. And back. And now we have a fan in the wall. Nice and high. No one's going to get out of that. It's too small. So we can actually get rid of this one now. We can get rid of That one. Let's move up. Now I've got this grit in the floor, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace that with this here instead. So looking at that now, you can imagine that having a shower, the water goes down there. Let's have the bin in. Now, as the bin is like the same size as the guy, I think that might need to be resized. Let's check it against the size of the guy. I mean, that's too big. About that size, about knee height. Oh, you found it. Oh, well done. So where's the rubbish bin gonna go? The rubbish bin go maybe in the... Where would I put a rubbish bin? Would it be near the sink maybe? Would you have it near the sink? Out the way. So it's like there, but does that look right there? I don't think that looks right. Actually, I don't know. It might look right in the corner. I mean, it's... Okay, let's put the window in next. Let's get our window in. Well done, eh? Glad you finally found it. There we go, now got a window through there. I have put some sort of decal on the window. Okay, so we're going to start putting stuff on the shelves. Like this, let's make this smaller. Pick this up. small collection of like baskets and stuff. Maybe on one of the shelves. As you would have, you had them on top, wouldn't you? Yeah, about there. We can get rid of that vent now, we don't need that. I wanted to use this for the tap, the shower. So let's make it more. Got to be smaller still. Right, that part there is done. Okay, so let's put the loo roll where the toilet is. Madness, eh? So the loo roll would sit maybe either on the floor, or wouldn't it be like maybe up here? And they would maybe have a couple. They'd have a loo roll there because obviously they need it for the toilet, and then they'd have a pile of boxes. Smaller than that. You can even see the shadow on the shelf. There. Little pile of boxes. I don't know if they'd actually be on the top shelf though. Maybe on the shelf, the bottom shelf. So if we resize it to the wider, like this, looks like they've got bigger boxes. Move back, step back a bit. Yeah, that works. You got this box of supplies here. TV. Make it smaller. Up. Get back this way. And maybe on the shelf up here, they've got a TV so they can watch it while they're in bed. So they can watch it while they're on their bunk beds. So they maybe have it up there because that way they can both see it. And it'd be a little bit of an angle as well because let's face it, they're over there, not sitting on the floor. Maybe not that much of an angle. You know, I think it would be better on the shelf below. No, because of the aerial. I'll find a kettle now. Telephone! We got a telephone, haven't we? We have a telephone. So they can phone people. Their own phone now. Got a pile of books. Maybe over here they have like a pile of towels. They've just kind of chopped on the floor. You know, when they're getting out of the shower, they just throw them on the floor. Because they're messy bleeders. Messy people. No wonder they're in prison. You can say goodbye to you now. Let's take this and put this on the yeah, no, I think that just looks stupid. Right? Okay, so now we've got this lamp. I don't think we're going to have a lamp. But we are going to have some lights. So this one here. Now this sort of light is for when they're asleep. So what they do is the guards will come over and check to make sure that they're awake. I mean that they're in their cells, so they need light to be able to do that. So actually we'll turn it around, put it on the other wall, because the light would need to be able to reflect onto them. And then maybe be one here. One over here. And then we'll have a little bench. This bench will go against that wall. I'll have to shrink it down a bit though. Oh, maybe not. I think that tin can may be a bit too big. Devil's in the detail, as they say. Don't like that there. I can just chuck it on the floor so it's not wasted. Prison weights. Big Apple, isn't it? Mm-hmm. A lot of rubbish there. Is there a- But as they don't have a record player, I don't think that's not. I'm not going to put the roof on, the ceiling on yet, so maybe I might be better off. I'm going to put cobwebs in, and when they're not, once it's all built, what's that over there I've got on the floor? Oh, it's enough piles, they've got right, and then got a couple of piles of rubble here, so I wanted to use them. They're kind of decoy. Smaller. Right, let's not worry about that. So all of this lot here is going to be grouped. I've just got to remember how to group all. I think it's just Control G. I'm going to stop there. So, Kelly, I will speak to you later, mate. I'll drink the rest of my coffee. I'm going to get some sleep, as it's 6:45 in the morning. 6:45 in the morning. So, I mean, I've still got other stuff to do to it. But this is the start of the... Let's say that. This is the start of what the prison cell is going to look like. I've got to put some towels in here, maybe something on the bed. There wouldn't be, actually said that there wouldn't be much more in here. And then group it all together, put the roof on it, and then that's going to be the first room people have to escape from. That is. So, what do you think, Kelly? Do you reckon it looks good? Let's press compile it. Launch the session, so it'll go into Fortnite. Just so I can see what it looks like. There we go, Fortnite's opening. I presume you can see that good. So you made these in ChatGPT, did you, Kelly? Once you saved it, you've got to you saved the PFP. So, but when you actually look at the big one, that's ChatGPT. But they're still good images. I mean, I think there definitely is anything wrong with AI images. To be fair, myself, I don't know why I'm talking to the screen over here. There's the camera. I don't see what. The problem with AI images, I use them AI on all the time. I use Grok. That's what I use. Anyway, so let's have a quick look. Right, so this is what the actual prison cell looks like inside as the player. So there you go. So everything is, I've kind of tried to do it so everything's in perspective. But that's good. Look, so look. I'm escaping. Oh, that box has gone through the wall a little bit. I'm gonna have to do something about that. But I think these little things on the floor give it a bit of detail as well, which is good. Oh, excuse me. Anyway. Oh, start game. So, start the game. Obviously, this is still in the makings at the moment, so you won't be able to open that. You can make a phone call, go to the toilet. You can even see a reflection in the mirror. That's cool. Look out the window. You ain't going nowhere, sunshine. Yeah, so I've got to put a roof on this, and there's a speaker for someone to speak to. So what I've got to then do now is decide how I'm going to do it so the person escapes from the room, which I kind of got the idea in my head. So there we go. Where is it? End session. There we go. Lobby, yeah. Right, that's it. So I'm on that note. I'm gonna stop there. Let's just quickly save that. A wall group all. Save that first, then close it. Hopefully everything should close. Brilliant. Right, so I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now. See you later, Callie. Take it easy, mate. Cheers for those images.